Wanted man DeLong Morgan is arrested and no import ban on fruits and vegetables. Welcome to InfoHub. It's October 22. Here's what's making the news. First, on the crime-fighting front. Wanted man DeLong Morgan, also known as Demon, has been captured by the Ghana Police Force through its intelligence operations. He was caught at a roadblock on the Cove and John Public Road on the east coast of Demerara around 5:45 hours this morning. Morgan is wanted in connection with the murder of gold miner Dion Stull. He is believed to be the mastermind behind the incident. According to the GPF, Morgan is known to have had several brushes with the law. In 2017, he was charged for allegedly robbing a bank customer in Diamond shortly after a cash withdrawal was made. The same year, he was also accused of being part of a gang that carried out robberies on the east coast of Demerara. The arrest of Morgan comes 3 days after Ghana Police Force issued a wanted bulletin for him. Another suspect, Lennox Eswick of Amelia's Ward, Linden, is still wanted in connection with the murder of Stull. As investigations continue into the matter, anyone with information that may lead to the arrest of Lennox Eswick is asked to contact the police on telephone numbers 444-3512, 253650, 226-1928, 911, or their nearest police station. Remember, all information will be treated with the strictest confidence. Whitewater's community policing group is now better equipped to serve the more than 2,000 residents after receiving an outboard engine and an ATV from the Public Security Minister, the Honorable Kemraj Ramjatan.
The Public Security Minister handed over the engine and ATV to the CPG while he was in the community recently. Chairman of the CPG, Cleveland D'Souza, explained that members would have to walk for miles to reach some of the satellite villages or paddle for hours to get to the communities upriver.
We had to walk up for over 3 hours where road leads to the satellite areas. And for the boat, we have to go and stay overnight, then come back the other day. We couldn't make it back in one day. It used to affect our work because we could have touched more than one place for the day, but then traveling take up more of the time, so we couldn't go there and get there on time.
With the necessary tools in hand, the community policing group will now be able to execute their mandate effectively. D'Souza noted that the community is home to more than 2,000 residents.
Our village is very big. We have satellite areas, so in the road area we will use the ATV to get there. We have over 1.5 hour riding to our satellite areas. Also with the boat, the engine, we have areas in the Riven area, like Corsaimo, Bamboo Landing, and Simrupa, where we have to travel 2 hours in boat to get there. So with the help of the motor, we will get there regularly and talk to our people and maintaining the peace of the village.
Minister Ramjatan has urged that the tools be utilized for the purpose intended, as millions have been spent to acquire it, so care and consideration should be exercised. The Whitewater CPG was formed back in February 2018 and now comprises 17 members. Felicia Valenzuela, InfoHub.
In a release issued from the Ministry of the Presidency today, the government stated clearly that it has no plan to ban the importation of fruits and vegetables, and there is no such policy in place.
Refuting reports in some sections of the media, the release described these as false, since the government has stated that it has no policy to ban importation of fruits and vegetables. In the media release, it states, quote, "Contrary to false reports in some sections of the media, Government of Ghana has no policy whatsoever with regard to the banning or restriction of the importation of any fruits or vegetables," end of quote. The government, the release stated, reiterates that it is in favor of free trade and does not wish to impede the choice of consumers on the local market. Further, it said that through the Ministry of Agriculture, government will continue to support local farmers and seek additional overseas markets for their produce in addition to advancing the agri-processing agenda. Cabinet also reminded that several Guyanese companies export seafood, fruits and vegetables, and other produce to CARICOM and international markets, which contribute to foreign exchange earnings and provide jobs for thousands of Guyanese. As per law, importation of produce into Ghana is subject to known licensing requirements and procedures of the Ghana Revenue Authority and other relevant agencies. These have been in place for years, the media release stated. The false reports were brought to the attention of Cabinet earlier on Tuesday. Felicia Valenzuela, InfoHub.
The centralization of much-needed public services in hinterland communities continues as the township of Mabaruma is slated to have an immigration and passport office constructed within the sub-district.
While the passport office will be located in Mabaruma, it will serve the residents of the Mabaruma, Matakai, and Moruco sub-districts. The announcement was made by Director General of the Ministry of the Presidency, Joseph Harmon, during a community engagement with residents of Hosororo Region 1 on Saturday last. While underscoring that the government places a high premium on public services such as education, health, and increased river and road connectivity, the Director General stated that the administration is also focused on the decentralization of public services.
We have started the decentralization of government services. We've decentralized. In fact, only recently you would find that all of the police divisions have become different. We've decentralized so that the access to direct service is much easier for citizens.
During the meeting, a resident requested more efficacy in the registration system in the region to ease the burden residents faced over the last few decades in obtaining birth certificates, passports, and marriage certificates.
Residents leave from here, to go to Georgetown to apply birth certificates. Sometimes they apply here for birth certificate, take months to come back here. Also, passports. So we're asking through your good office if you could set up a branch here for birth certificates, passports, and even marriage certificates.
Harmon explained that the establishment of the passport office in the township will allow for greater extension of government services, registration of births and deaths being one.
In all of the townships, we are going to establish these extensions of government services. So you can expect that coming very soon. So you don't have to go to Georgetown to go anywhere. Everything is right at your doorstep.
Similar interventions have been made in the townships of New Amsterdam, Lethem, and Linden. Natisha Isaacs for InfoHub.
Still to come, Comarca Bridge nears completion and Walnut Primary commissioned. Details after the break. Thanks for staying with us. As the Comarca Bridge nears completion, residents in the Region 1 community praise the works that are set to significantly impact the manner in which people both travel and trade.
When the bridge is finished, we will have at least more business because, people, especially on like when it's rainy weather, even the bypass, they have to take their time and walk, but there you'll have enough space and everything to make a good way to come to Comarca.
That was the viewpoint of businesswoman Evelyn Melville, who has operated her store at Comarca Waterfront for the last 20 years. Senior teacher of Northwest Secondary School, Ronald Cox, also reflected on the state of the road before the construction of the bridge, particularly in the rainy season.
The only thing I know the bridge has is a narrow strip of dirt. Because of that, people might raise their taxi fares. So to get to Marmara, which is just a $500 fare, they might increase it to $1,000. Or if you have large or heavy cargo to carry, they might not want to carry it in the vehicle.
Mabaruma resident Samaya Goodman says she will be traveling to Comarca more often since the bridge will be a strong link between the two communities and transportation costs will be reduced.
I think it would be a positive impact on Comarca and also Mabaruma at large, because when people come to purchase, we get more gain and profit, which develops the community.
With only a month's work remaining, workers are completing the two 50-foot approaches to the bridge. The revetment leading to the bridge is also being replaced to be able to withstand the weight of the fill material and approach slabs. Once these steps are taken, the railways will be installed on the bridge in addition to safety and aesthetic elements.
Reported from Comarca in Region 1 with videographer Kareem Peters, Shaquille Bourne for InfoHub.
The coalition government has once again delivered on a promise in the education sector, this time through the commissioning of the Walnut Primary School in Region 1, Birima Waini.
The facility was commissioned on Saturday, October 19, by Minister within the Ministry of Social Protection with responsibility for labour, the Honourable Keith Scott.
It has been a promise of the government that education will come first for all young people in this country. To have a proper education, we have to encourage you to stay in school.
Beyond the academic, the school will also provide technical courses to students in the higher levels. Minister Scott disclosed that lecturers from the Board of Industrial Training, BIT, will guide the students who wish to pursue studies in the technical field. These students will be exposed to training in refrigeration, electrical installation, welding, and cooking, among other courses. Eventually, information technology will be taken to the community, and by extension, the school, a move Minister Scott said will aid in development.
And this government, the APNU AFC government, has every intention to make sure that you're given every opportunity to be able to profit by our desire.
Minister Scott reminded that the government has made education a priority for all of Guyana, including the hinterland. The Department of Education in the region has already budgeted for microscience kits, which will allow for teachers in the absence of a science lab to carry out experiments until a laboratory is built. Construction of this room is slated for the new school year. Natisha Isaacs for InfoHub.
With the effects of adverse climate change becoming evident, Guyana's primary agriculture belt, which lies on its coastline, is under threat. Therefore, inland farming has been considered as the next frontier for agriculture, and measures are already being implemented. The National Agricultural Research and Extension Institute is aware of the issue and has already taken steps to assist farmers who are shifting crop production inland. This is according to the agency's Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Odo Umnot. Farmers along the Linden-Susnek Highway, which runs from the coast into the hilly sand and clay areas, are already being assisted.
We know the soils on the highway in some areas is kind of very sandy. You need to, and they cannot use much fertilizer, obviously. So we have started work using materials like charcoal, and we make something called biochar out of coconut shells. I didn't get time to speak on those things, maybe another time. Using the coconut waste, and that you can have that material as a soil amendment. That amendment will ensure that the soil retains moisture for a longer time. It holds on to nutrients for a longer time.
Dr. Omno added that work is ongoing in the intermediate savannas.
So once all goes well, will be the next frontier, especially with targeting corn, soybeans, some fruits and cassava, as well as cattle.
However, he noted that transportation remains a challenge.
Going to Ibini now is not so much of an issue. We have systems in place. Of course, we can use the Burbage River as well for transport. But I see that as the next frontier, especially for large-scale agriculture. We cannot, and it has to be large-scale mechanized agriculture. It can't be small-scale, because you have to practice good irrigation and so on in those areas, because currently we are basically working on rain-fed agriculture.
Dr. Omnot opined that the forthcoming Linden to Lethem roadway will help to drive inland agriculture.
The Brazilians talking about using that road for exporting their commodities, and that will propel development not only there but along that corridor.
The establishment of mega farms and cassava processing factories in the Rupununi, water harvesting systems in Toka and Napi, along with rice production in Quarry, and increased technical assistance from the government agencies continue. The NARI had explained that these interventions and more will boost food security and ensure local crop sustainability. As we close, here's a reminder from the Guyana Elections Commission.
GCOM's preliminary list of electors is now on its website, www.gcom.org.gy. Citizens are reminded to check the voters list to ensure their names are on it. GCOM's claims and objection exercise began on October 1st and will end on November 18, 2019. During this time, the following persons can check the registration office in their respective districts to verify their registration records for inclusion on the list of electors. Persons who are 18 years or older or will become 18 by December 31st, 2019. and Guyanese citizens by birth, descent, naturalization, or registration, and a citizen of a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for no less than a year before December 31st, 2019. Also, persons whose names appear on the Central Registrar can make changes or corrections during this period. GCOM's claims and objection exercise is being conducted at all GCOM offices throughout the country.
That's all for today. Connect with us on WhatsApp, Facebook, and YouTube. Much more news is on our website at dpi.gov.gy and pop over to Instagram for the latest photo updates at DPI Guyana. Your bridge and weather reports are up next. Goodbye for now.